This episode is brought to you by Triggered 22 LLC, a veteran-owned apparel company. By purchasing a t-shirt, hat, or hoodie from Triggered 22, you're not only supporting a small business, but you're bringing awareness to veteran PTSD and suicide. Please help save the lives of those who fought for our freedoms. Visit triggered22.com now and place your order. Let's help those suffering from invisible wounds.
Why? And he's like, you paid $40,000 to learn what not to do.
Welcome to the American Grown Podcast, hosted by Austin Sullivan. The American Grown Podcast will focus on people from different walks of life and their journey to where they are now. Now, turn up your volume and settle in for a great episode.
Hi, I'm Austin Sullivan. This is the American Grown Podcast, recorded inside the Colortech Creative Solutions studios. Today, we have Grant and Nicole Holden. They are mobile app creators of the app called DudeDoula. Grant and Nicole, welcome to episode 54 of the American Grown Podcast.
Hey there.
Hey.
Yeah, welcome, guys.
Thanks for
Welcome.
having us.
So you guys are from, like train country, Stroudsburg. Don't they have a railroad down there or something?
Yep. The Strasbourg Railroad.
Strasbourg.
Very famous.
Yeah.
We can get to it by bike. We go all the time.
Really?
Yes.
That close?
Yeah.
Yes. Our
Very
kids love
cool.
it.
Yeah. Well, thank you for making the trip up. Just wanted to let you guys know you are the first people on the podcast to have ever created an app.
Oh,
So
Love it.
congrats.
Great.
You hold that title here on the American Grown Podcast.
I'll take it.
Perfect. All right.
one.
Yeah, I think so. And I'm excited to dive in and learn more about the app, your family, your business, and about you guys. So before we do that, before we dive in to DudeDoula, the app, and then our birth, the company, let's get some background about yourselves. From the beginning up until this moment, let's start with Nicole. Ladies first.
Oh, very sweet. Oh, how far back do we go? That's the question.
High school on.
High school on?
That works? Yeah.
All right. That's a good idea. I grew up around the same area that we live. I grew up and went to Lampeter Strasburg High School. So where I grew up, we now live 5 minutes from.
Very nice.
After that, I went to Temple for 4 years, got a bachelor's degree in education, and I lasted in that career for about 3 years, and then met Grant, and we decided that we were going to start a family. So we settled in Lancaster County, really,
Yeah.
E-Town area. We have 2 kids, and I have been at home with them for the last 7
Yeah.
years. And that's kind of gotten us to the point where we are now. And I like to call it right now I'm starting to come off the bench. That's what
Starting to come off the bench?
Yeah.
You're warming up,
Yeah. I'm coming
Okay.
off the bench
Yeah.
now.
So, all right, let's go back. What was it like going from, Lancaster County to going to Philly?
It was everything I dreamed of because Lancaster County is the most wonderful little bubble. It's wonderful and beautiful and quaint. And I would say predictable in a lot of ways. A lot of people are the same. There's a lot of the same culture. And then you get to Philly and it just is so different in a really wonderful way. In the way that people speak, in the way that people look, in the way that people greet each other. Everything was just so different. And it was so wonderful to leave Lancaster County and get to see, I know this is going to sound really strange, but get to see that the world was bigger than where I had lived my whole life,
Yeah,
and
for
that
sure.
it was really cool and really beautiful. So it was
Yeah.
awesome.
And not there was no shock, culture shock, because it's, a lot of hustle and bustle there.
Yeah, I mean there was a little bit, especially if we talk about Temple, there were this may sound like it's too much information, but there were people that were drinking mouthwash to be drinking alcohol on the
Really?
bench outside of our dorm rooms
To get
drunk.
to get drunk, yeah.
Yeah. So it
What?
was different.
Wow, that is
It
different.
was a big culture shock
Yeah.
in that way. But that's kind of what I mean. You just have your eyes broadened to just the fact that there are different folks and different strokes, and you're just okay,
whatever
this
works.
is what it is.
Yeah, whatever works for them.
But yeah, it's definitely it was a busier environment, but it was really cool for being in my 20s. I really loved that. There was always something to do.
It keeps you busy. Now, you had mentioned, you got your degree, you graduated, but then you were only in your career field for, was it 3 years? May I ask why?
Yeah.
Yeah. Was it because of Grant?
Partly.
Some of it.
Okay.
Yeah, I would say that.
Yeah.
I would say that I had an ideal in my head of what teaching was going to look like, and I didn't teach for 4 years while I learned about it, and I
Yeah.
got out and did not love the actual reality of teaching as much as I thought I
Okay.
did.
We got to dive into this. Okay. All right. Keep going.
Yeah, so that was part of it. And then Grant and I had been friends for like 3 years. And so when we decided that we were going to be together, we were just like off to the races.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so we were just like, we need to start a family. This is what we're going to do. And so that was part of it too.
Okay. What do you mean by it wasn't? Was it because of the kids, because of parents,
Ugh.
or just in general? You had to, because people change their mind all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Especially at that young age, right? In your 20s, early 30s.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I really loved the idea of being a teacher and sort of like being that guiding light for kids to just help them as they sort of learn and grow. And I feel now, like in retrospect, that being a teacher is a lot less about what you teach, and it's more just about being there for the kids in the moments that they need you. And for me, the school that I taught in, it was very much about our results, and it was just about shoving that information down their throats. And that wasn't the greatest feeling for me at the end of the day. I didn't love that. And so I took a step back from it. And now I hope that still in my life, like I can continue that hope of still like just being a warm guiding presence for people, but maybe not in the classroom as much.
Well, that makes sense because it's almost like they're just regurgitating, right? Almost like robotic learning. Yeah.
And I taught elementary, which I know you have a kid.
Yeah.
We have young kids. When your kids are really young, there's a huge emotional component to that where sometimes they're just having a really crappy day and they just like need a hug.
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
You know what
For
I
sure.
mean? Or
Yeah.
like they just have to learn the figuring out how to interact with other people and other peers. There's a huge emotional component to teaching, and in the school that I was in, we didn't have time for that.
Yeah.
And that kind of broke my heart a little bit because I think that's how you raise nice human beings.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. Right. Yes. Oh, I'm with you
Yeah.
100%. So, okay. And then you meet Grant and you're off to the races. So,
Yeah.
Grant, how about we'll get some background on you and then we
Sure.
can kind of pick up there. Yeah. When you two
Yeah,
meet.
no problem.
Yeah.
So I'm originally from a town called Middletown.
Okay.
It's closer to Harrisburg. If you know where the Harrisburg Airport is,
Yeah.
that's right by there.
I know right where you're at. Yeah.
Yeah. And then I went to high school at a place called Dauphin County Technical School.
Okay.
It's for information technology. So I got lucky in 8th grade for some reason. They were like, "Hey, do you want to go here?" And instead of like your regular high school, and I was like, "Sure." And then they were like, when I got there, like, "What do you want to do?" And I was like, "Oh, computers seem cool,
Yeah.
right?" And honestly, like if I had, I say today, if I had not made that decision, we would not be where we are today. So it's I either got really lucky or I made like a really smart decision in high school to do computer stuff, and then that created a trajectory for me that has been really honestly crazy. So
Do you remember like a teacher or a mentor back then that guided you towards the like computers and things like technology?
funny you should say that.
Yeah.
I was always really into like electronics and like tinkering around with stuff.
Okay.
But right around that time, I had some health like troubles.
Yeah.
And I wasn't really doing a whole lot. So I was like, messing around with computers was like the thing to do.
Yeah, it made sense. Yeah.
So I had, I'm from the days of like AOL on a CD, right? That they mailed
okay.
to you.
Yep.
Like,
Yeah.
And the dial-up and all
Old
that.
school. Yeah.
Old school,
You're right. That
So-
noise. Everybody knows that noise if
Yeah,
you were
yeah.
like, yeah.
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 I can't even replicate
I don't
it.
even know. Right. It's like, or something.
Yeah.
Loading up.
So I went to high school, and then, I met my high school teacher who taught information systems technology. His name is Mr. Bridgehouse, or Michael Bridgehouse. He's a wonderful teacher, but when I went, they had like a week on, week off. So you would do a week worth of like IT related stuff. And ultimately, they had a testing center there. So you could test to get certified in certain aspects of information technology.
Oh, wow.
And that's just what we did.
Yeah.
So I never really went to college, but I got all these certifications that enabled me to like take them to my first job, my second job, all that good stuff.
And at a real young age, too.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Big into technology. What was do you remember like your first job then?
Yeah. It was it's a company called FiberTech. They do fiber cabling installation for buildings,
Okay.
basically.
Yeah.
And I was just a cable runner. So I would just install these big fiber cables.
Like miles of cable or whatever it is. Yeah.
Yeah.
Very cool. Did you like that or not so much? Because that doesn't sound as very like techie. You know what I mean? Like the computer aspect. Or
No, it's cool. It's cool when you think about it.
Yeah.
Because that's like you're traveling data across wire, and it's like, how does that even work?
Yeah,
You know what I
really.
mean?
Okay. How does it work? Real quick. Like how does the internet and things work? Seriously.
The easiest way to explain it is like on off or binary. So everything is just, I'm either sending something or I'm not, right?
Okay.
So at the very, very core of it, it's like if you're sending a signal, it's like on, off, on, off, 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 on. And that binary sequence means something. And computers do that really, really, really fast. And
wow.
You know, a string of like maybe 8 binary characters of ones and zeros might mean the letter W or something like that, right? So that's how it works. I mean, it's really interesting to think about it nowadays because like they pack a bunch of information in essentially what is binary information. There's like layers of information. So it starts at binary or like the system level and then keeps going up into like programming or like HTML, CSS, all these higher levels of like, well, if I do this to my internet browser, or if I do this on this notepad and I write HTML, that tells the computer to do all these other things.
Yeah,
right? So,
like load the website or whatever it may be.
Yeah.
So, like, okay, let me ask you this: is with computers and technology, and this is going off topic maybe, but
no, you're fine.
Like the Matrix, what's up with that? And we're going off topic maybe, but I feel like I'm not gonna. This is a good time to ask. Matrix, like. Are we in a program?
Like, are we in a simulation?
Thank you. Exactly. What are your thoughts on that?
I think it's very, very possible. What do we say? If we are in a simulation, it's a pretty great one, honestly. Yeah. I mean, it's tough to know. I think both of us are pretty much like, look, like we don't know what we don't know, but we like to have strong-held ideas that can be changed. So yeah. Could there be a Matrix? Could it be a simulation? Absolutely.
Oh boy, you heard it here first. We could be in the Matrix. I love it. Yeah, I just sometimes you go down a rabbit hole on YouTube or whatever it may be when you have some free time. Of course, having kids, you all know free time's hard to come by, but
sure.
Every now and then you wonder. So, you got your first job. When did you and Nicole meet, and how did that come about?
Yeah, that's funny.
And if I missed anything, we don't have to jump.
No, not at all. So. I met Nicole, and hopefully this isn't too much information, but I met Nicole at my then current girlfriend's dad's house.
Oh.
So Nicole's mom was dating my girlfriend's dad, and that's how we met.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Wow, that sounds like, what are the odds of that?
Yeah. Well, and it's kind of funny too because we grew up in like kind of the same areas. My dad lived in Mount Joy, and her family was from Mount Joy.
Yeah, I know Mount Joy.
Yeah, and her mom's best friend was like my hairdresser as a kid.
Okay.
And so, our hairdresser. So we would have probably crossed paths, but didn't know it.
It's all like interlocking. Yeah.
No idea. So
now that we're together, we love that. We're like, it's just like.
It is a neat story for sure.
Yeah, we like to imagine the romantics of it.
Yeah, for real.
But it was a little bit awkward there for a little while because like, it was funny. I knew her family before I knew her.
Yeah.
Because
I had been at
she
school.
was at college.
Oh, okay, you're at Temple in Philly, right?
Yeah. So she was off, and I was like, I knew her whole family, and then I finally met her. We fell in love. We got together, and then it was like, oh, I'm transitioning from being this girl's boyfriend to now being Nicole's boyfriend.
It sounds so bad.
Yeah.
It does sound
really
bad,
wasn't. Here's the
give us
the
a
other
scoop,
side
Nicole.
of the story.
Give us your point of view. Yep.
So he is the best person I've ever met in my entire life. And he is the sweetest person to me. And we were just such good friends. And he liked me maybe, I think, when I wasn't always the best version of myself either. And I was like, okay, this is somebody that is, really cares about me, but also that I can see myself being with. Because if he's going to like me at my worst, he's hopefully going to like me at my best.
Yeah, for sure.
I think we were in love with each other before we knew that we were in love with each other. We just really genuinely respect each other and like each other a lot, and we were just really lucky enough to cross paths, I think. Yeah.
I got that energy as soon as you guys, I met you outside. You pulled up in I think it was a Jaguar, and I'm like, oh, okay. And then you both dress and your mannerisms are similar, and I feel like, you put off some positive energy, some good vibes.
We try.
Yeah.
I'd love to hear that.
Yeah.
I think so. Yeah, as soon as I mentioned this, and this is the first time I'm meeting you. So you get together. Where are we at now? Like modern times, like 2 kids, I think.
Yeah.
If you don't mind sharing all that.
We got together. Our first kid, we lived in E-Town for a while, and she came to me. It's so funny. I'll mention this, but she came to me. It's like, look, like, we need to have children, and I was like, okay, that's fine. But it was really interesting because she was like, look, I have this vision of like having 2 kids, and they look like this, and blah 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 blah. And she told me this whole big story. And she's like, we just need to have kids, and I was like, okay, like let's go, let's do it. And at the time, I was like super scared because I honestly I have another kid opposite of, or without her, to a different girl and or woman now, and
She's 12.
yeah, she's 12. But it was really scary because I was like, I don't know if I want to go through that whole thing again and like possibly mess it up or feel differently. But I was like, I knew I loved her, so I was like, look, like, we'll just do it, see what happens. It's funny now because we have those 2 kids that she imagined.
Yeah.
And I always think about that because I always think like that's exactly what was meant to happen, if that makes sense. First, I guess it's a good segue into like why we started our business.
Yeah.
And there's a bunch that goes into it, but our first child,
Eloise.
Yeah,
Eloise. Shout out Eloise. Yeah.
She's 7 now, but
Okay.
Back then, Nicole got pregnant. We were just living life and stuff, but the birthing experience wasn't super great. We ran into some troubles where we went to the hospital, and
Okay.
everybody was great. Nobody was like
Mean or
anything like that. It wasn't anything like that. It was more of like we had no idea what we were going into.
Overly confident, underprepared.
Yeah.
Ooh, okay. Yeah,
Yeah.
I get you. Yeah.
So she's in labor. We're hanging out in the hospital, and then it comes time for her to give birth, and like baby's not coming out, and I'm over here like,
as a dad or as a
Yeah.
soon to be dad, you're freaking out,
I'm
because you
freaking
can't
out.
do much. you
Yeah.
know? Yeah.
So it turned from there's like maybe 4 people in the room to like over 20 people in this room.
Wow.
And like they were trying to get this baby out, and Nicole looked like she was passing out. Heart rate was all over the place.
That's scary.
Yeah, it
That's
was
real
it was
scary.
just really, really scary. And ultimately what ended up happening is they pulled Eloise out with one of those like suction things.
Yeah.
But like I feel like watching her, like the oxygen go up and down and the heart rates go up and down and baby's heart rate going up and down and stuff. It was kind of like, look, like we're minutes away from death, honestly. Like, and I
That's
didn't.
not how it was.
That's how I
though.
felt.
But that's
Right.
what
We'll
you
get your
felt.
side, Nicole.
Yeah,
Yeah. That's great.
It's not how
'Cause
it's not how it went. It's just how
Yeah.
I felt.
Scary
Right.
Right.
one.
Oh yeah, but
Yeah.
as the man, like you want to be the protector. You want to like,
Right.
and you don't like seeing your loved one,
100%.
in pain or anything or suffering. Yeah.
We hadn't prepared. We had no idea. I was like, oh, I've never done this before. I have no idea what I'm doing, right?
Yeah.
And I was just sitting there watching, not doing anything. I was like, I have no idea what to even do right now other than just be right next to her. But ultimately, like, and it might sound bad, but ultimately we learned like that wasn't enough. You know what I mean? So second time around, and I'll let you say, but second time around we were like, we have to do something differently. And I'll hand it
You're
over to
doing
her.
great.
No,
I
you're
like
fine.
hearing you.
I know you
hearing
do.
your side of
You
it.
go ahead, because you have a different.
You both
side
have
of
really good podcast voices, by the way. I just want to throw that out there.
Hey, thanks.
Yeah.
Appreciate that.
But yeah, Nicole, let's get your your take.
All right, so
Yeah.
second time around, I think we waited like 4 years to have
Yeah.
another kid because we both, it was rough. It was rough for us to go around for the first time. So we decided that we were going to have a second kid, and we both were like, this cannot happen again. How are we going to change it? And so I did like a bunch of research and found that if you had a support person with you, like a doula or somebody, that your outcomes were better for both mom and baby. Like physically, your outcomes are better. Like I think you have like less risk of a C-section, and just less risk of trauma. Baby comes out healthier.
Medical
and
interventions, all that good stuff.
different metrics. So I kind of took that and ran with it, and I was like, all right, how do we have this birth experience be more relaxed and more peaceful this go around? And I came to Grant with like 20 pages of Google Docs, and I was like, I need
You
you
did
to
your
use-
research. Yeah, yeah.
Bunch of it.
Okay.
But I'm a nerd.
Insane
So.
person.
Yeah. So it works. Yeah, yeah.
So I came to him with like 20 pages of Google Docs, and I was like, I need you to use these when I'm in labor. And he was like, I love you, but no. I
But
will
no.
not be doing that.
Yeah, I was like, oh,
Just
'cause
like, no.
I have a lazy side, you know, being like a nerdy and stuff. Like I have a lazy side where I'm like, look,
Yeah.
if I can write a program or like write a script to do this for me, I'm gonna.
Yeah.
So I'm looking at these Google Docs and I'm like, there's no way.
Yeah.
There's no way that I'm actually gonna read through this and remember it.
It won't keep
and,
you
like,
interested, and you
Right.
won't remember. Right.
Yeah.
Obtain it. Right.
And like and no offense, but like there's some things I just don't care about as much, because what I want to do, like, and maybe this is like a typical guy or stereotypical thing, but like I just want to be able to take the action.
Yes.
I don't
yeah.
need to know the reason why. I just need to know, like, this is what I'm gonna be doing, right? So I'm reading over her documentation. I'm like, look, I'm gonna make something to solve this. And
How would you do?
So-
You're saying it perfectly.
okay,
Keep going.
so I got on it's iOS Shortcuts. It's like the automation platform for Apple for
Okay.
iOS. And on my phone, this is before Shortcuts was on Mac, because like now you can use it on Mac and computers and all that. But it was on my phone, and I'm literally like hours on end.
Your thumbs are falling off.
Flaming thumbs,
flaming
right? Flaming
Get some
thumbs.
ice. Get some ice.
Yeah, yeah. I'm over here. I'm like building this thing where it's just like, look,
on your phone.
on my phone, as a prototype of being like, look, she said in her Google Docs, we need to go to the bathroom. We need to be eating. We need to be drinking water every so often.
And this is the husband or the wife or both? When you say like we
the
need
woman giving
yeah.
birth, like going
Okay.
through labor, right?
just things to remember, right?
Yeah,
Because in the moment, you don't.
Well, and for the partner too, because the thing about it this way is like, look, if you're not drinking water, if you're not eating, you're not going to the bathroom, then you're not allowing the process to happen naturally, or you're at least slowing it down.
I see what
Or
you're saying.
even for the partner, you got to eat, you got to drink, you got to meet your basic needs so that you can be there for
Right.
her.
Yeah.
If that's what you
Okay.
want to do. If you want to be there.
And this is all based on just research that we found based on, ensuring a positive birth. The prototype was really just like setting up reminders on my phone automatically that said, hey, I'm in labor right now. Okay, I set up reminders for you every so odd minutes to go to the bathroom. I set up reminders for you to drink and eat some food, right?
Right.
And then there's like reminders to say like, let's give her an affirmation. Let's tell her something that's really nice that will help her continue on.
Positive words of encouragement. Yeah,
Right,
yeah.
exactly. And that's all it was. I guess the change, or like the thing that really made it work, was the ability to have it on my watch. So I wore a watch. I said like, hey, I'm in labor. And then I would just go about doing whatever I needed to do, just be there for her, whatever. And then on my watch, it would pop up and be like, hey, do this. And
Yeah.
I'd be like, all right.
That's easy enough.
I'll do
As a
that.
guy, yeah, we
Yeah.
can do that.
Yeah,
Right.
I was
Look
like,
at the
I
watch.
can do that.
Yeah,
I can do
no
this all
problem.
day.
Right. Give me something hard to do. Right.
Yeah. We used this during our second birth with our son, who is now 2.5-ish. His name's Arlo.
It's a good way to introduce him.
Yeah, because he's crazy, but
He's a tough one.
He's energetic.
Oh, yeah.
yeah,
He's
Oh,
wiry.
yeah.
My wife would say wiry.
yeah.
Yes.
Oh,
Yeah.
he's a hoot.
Yeah.
And he
Yeah.
came into this world as such as well.
Yeah.
We labored with him for 24 hours almost.
Oh my Lord.
It was wild, and his shoulders were the biggest that my midwife had ever seen. So we just had our work cut out for us in general with him. Wow. So it was intense. And I just remember Grant being like, I made this shortcut. And I was like, oh, that's cute. Like, I didn't really understand what it was.
Right.
I'm like, okay,
You're like,
good
great
for
job.
you. Best
Great
of
job.
luck to us.
Right.
And so we go through this labor, and this man is like just so in sync with me. Like, just, I don't have to ask for a thing. I don't want to say this lightly. Like, he was my actual hero during labor.
Wow, that's big.
Like
Yeah.
She said it,
I
not me.
call it like the MVP. Yeah, right.
MVP. Yeah.
He was the MVP. Like, I wouldn't have been able to do it without him. He was so amazing. He was anticipating my needs. It was the most amazing thing ever. And at the end of it, my midwives were like, you need to be a doula. He needs to be a doula. He was amazing. And Grant's over there like just snickering. He's like, it was just
It's
my
all
watch.
technology.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
all the
It's on my
thumbs.
watch.
All the thumbs on the phone.
Just making me look good.
So now, for lack of better knowledge, doula.
Yeah.
Educate me and probably some of the listeners. What is a doula?
So a doula is not a medical professional. So I think it's better to say what they're not at first. Okay. Your midwife and your doctors are
nurses
go through the medical education to be able to prevent and save you in the event of a crisis. Trauma. Your doula is very reminiscent of how we would have birthed when we didn't have all of those resources back in the day. Yeah. So it would have been like a mom or a grandmother, somebody who would have gone through the process before and would have said, hey, it's okay if her heart rate is going up a little bit. We've seen this before. She's probably going to be okay. And it just is more meaningful from a wiser, more educated presence.
Okay. I want to give doulas credit too, even though they're not sometimes medically trained like a nurse or a doctor would be, they still know what they're talking about, and they still they know the medical stuff because like they're in it all day every day, giving birth and helping women. So it's not like they're like less than, it's just that they're there for a really specific reason, and it's more emotional support instead of trauma,
which is huge.
Well, and because birth is so transformative, it is a big deal emotionally, and it's not something that you get to practice before you do it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, nothing can really prepare you for the moment because you don't know.
So the stakes are really high, and like when the stakes are really high, it's nice. It's like running a marathon and you have somebody on the sidelines, and when you know there's somebody on the sidelines and you see them there, it just feels better because you have like a little bit of support as you go on your journey. And so they're really there to just give you emotional support and kind of tap into your needs and say, okay, I see maybe you're struggling a little bit mentally. Because I don't know maybe if you have ever heard in any of your education with birth or any of your birth with your first child, a lot of people will say like birth is like 99% a mental game and it's like 1% a physical game. And what they mean by that is like your body is just going to do what it needs to do to get that baby out.
Makes sense, yeah.
But you can either in your mind panic about it, and because you're panicking, it can throw everything off and you can have a horrible experience. Or you can kind of have a calm mind and you can kind of have this very peaceful, as much as possible, experience to get you through.
Yeah.
So really one way can be really wonderful and then one way can be not so great. And sometimes I know for myself, if I've gone off the deep end and I'm in an emotional place where I can't get back from, sometimes it's nice to have somebody to go fishing for you and like kind of reel you back in.
Yeah.
Kind of like
totally.
that. Yeah. So that's really what a doula does. They do a lot, and it's super important.
Doula. So Doula. All right. So you have your second child. Your thumbs are broken from creating this code, this like app, that notifies you on your watch. So pick up from there. Like, okay, what were the next steps? How did you then create a company and an app?
Yeah. So after Arlo was born, and the midwives were like, "Hey, this is awesome. Like, you should be a doula." And I was like, okay, I got something on my hands here. Like, I had an ego trip a little bit, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I was like, I can make this. I think just a small segue, it's fair to say that, like, we've been trying, like, other really small businesses for a really long time. And it's just kind of like I did photography, I did website design, I did... just
Etsy shops.
Yeah, Etsy shops, whatever. Like,
we threw spaghetti at the wall for so long, trying to have something stick.
So I was like, look, when they said like, hey, you should be a doula, I was like, will this work for everybody? Can it work for everybody? That was the question. And so what we did is I actually I gave the shortcut that I made to other people to use. And I was like, hey, use this and tell me if it works for you or not.
Like a beta test almost.
Right.
Yeah, really early, yeah.
And we did it with 2 births, and they were like, this is wonderful. This is great. We wish we had this. And then we went back to the midwives that we originally used, and we were like, hey, what if we did this? What would you think about it? And they were like, yes, totally. Like, let's do this. And I was like, well, okay, like Nicole and I are going to do this, but I hear what you're saying, right?
Yeah.
It turned out we were like, so I'm in IT, right? Mm-hmm. But the one main thing about me, and I've said this for a really long time, is I know how to do a bunch of stuff, but I don't know how to program at all. Like, I don't, if you ask me to make like write code to make a program or like an application, that's not me. That's not, because there's so many different areas of IT. I do like data transformation and like business integrations, like integrating systems, but I don't develop, I don't write code. That's like a different type of IT person that would do that, right? So we were like, look, okay, this is one area where I really don't know how to do it. I know design, I know how to make it work, I know logical function, all that stuff. So we were like, let's go find a company to develop this for us. And we called around a few, but it was funny, is the first company to call us back is the company that we went with. And I'm not going to name their name because the story's about to change here.
Oh, okay.
But we worked with them for, I would say, about a year and a half, and we got nothing.
Wait. You worked with them for a year and a half, and you got nothing. Like
nothing.
What do you mean by
Nothing was
that?
produced.
Nothing came back for you to like review, or hey, we're this far in the project.
So the project started out as like, hey, here's the design, here's the idea, and it was going to be called Our Birth, and the idea was that we were going to actually enable like an entire birthing team, and like people would be part of it, and you could add people to your birthing team, not just a doula, but everybody, right?
Oh, okay. So like if the dad, because normally it's the husband and the mom, right, or midwives and things like that. But so you could add like, I don't know, let's say a sister or grandma, if they want to say something encouraging.
Yeah.
Okay.
Whoever, add your nurses, add your doctors, add whoever you want, and that's your birthing team.
That's pretty cool. Okay, but yeah.
So we ran with that for a while, but that wasn't the original idea. It was kind of like, hey, if we're gonna do this, let's try to make it what we think it could be.
I think we got a little insecure too, that we got like imposter syndrome, where we were like, we wanted to add so much value right off the bat, worrying that what we had used originally just wasn't going to be good enough.
Yeah, it wasn't enough.
Yeah.
And I think we kind of in a way like bit off a little bit more than we could chew at first.
Okay.
And I think like we had to understand and realize like we just needed to have, what do you call it? Like an MVP. We just needed to have, what does that stand for?
Minimum viable product.
Minimum viable product.
Oh, thank you, because I was thinking most valuable player or something like that.
He has all
Most
these like
valuable
IT terms, and I'm like, sure, whatever.
Yeah.
Whatever you say.
And it's funny you mentioned the imposter syndrome, because I feel like entrepreneurs in general, creatives, when they first start out, like even here on the podcast, American Grown Podcast, it still feels like kind of like that fake it till you make it kind of thing. And it's like, look how far you've come. Like, you know what I mean? Especially you guys launching an app and everything. But it's interesting you mentioned that, because I had an episode earlier where they said a similar thing. And again, they're entrepreneurs that just left their full-time job, something safe, secure, 9-to-5, benefits and all that, to really chase their dreams and, and do what they're passionate about. So I feel like that's a hurdle that a lot of entrepreneurs and creatives have to overcome.
Well, you know what's crazy about that? Grant and I were just talking about this the other day. When you're an entrepreneur too, I feel like if you are doing what you set out to do, you're growing. And if you're growing, it's almost like I don't know that you outgrow that imposter syndrome, because you're always then in like this new place.
Right. Yeah. That's true.
You know what I'm saying?
That's a good way to look at it. Oh yeah, for sure.
We've been doing this for 2 years, and I keep waiting to feel like I'm like, I got this. I have really good days, but sometimes I'm just like, I don't know what I'm doing. And so I'm trying to like take a step back and be like, okay, maybe it is okay that I feel this way, because I'm in new territory, which means we're moving forward, which is good.
That's a great way to look at it. Yeah, for sure.
Tell me about your 6-year rule.
Oh yeah. Okay, so when we were really young, we just wanted success to happen really fast.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like within a couple months, we wanted everything to be working out for us.
Uh-huh.
And we are, 7 years into our marriage? And I think on year 6, we really hit our stride, where we felt like we were really just, I don't know how you would say it. It just felt great.
Doing all right. We figured it out.
Yeah.
Right.
We really figured it out. And so we have this 6-year rule now, where wherever we start a project, we just stick with it for 6 years.
Oh, I like that.
Because we're like, it's less about how quickly you can do it, and it's less about whether or not you can or you can't. It's just about staying the course.
Yeah, being consistent.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
And just being like, this is my new reality.
Yeah.
This is what we
Doing
do.
the journey.
Yes,
like
exactly.
Going on the journey, because
we heard a thing the other day too, where they were like, if you only focus on your goal and you only say that you're going to be happy when you get to that goal, that's like 1% of your journey, because 99, like if you think about getting to the top of the mountain, you stay at that top of the mountain for a moment, enjoy the view, and then you're going to either want to go down or you're going to want to conquer another mountain.
Keep going, right? Keep going up.
And so we're just like, let's try to enjoy the journey as well, the other like 99% of the time. And so accepting that, we've been like, okay, we can handle this. We can do multiple years of something.
Yeah.
and let it unfold. It's been a good rule. We really like it.
I like that. I'm gonna have to start using that 6-year rule.
Yeah.
I like that a lot.
Well, and too, like, you know how they say like they're an overnight success or whatever, but what they don't say is like, because we have all these like social media technology where it's like you watch a minute of a video and it's like, oh, we're here, we've done everything, and it's like, well, but they've been working on it for at least 10 or 15 years.
You don't see that part.
Yeah, you don't see that.
You get like the 60-second snapshot, and they're like, do this one thing. And then people like us when we were younger did the one thing, and we're like, what the heck?
It didn't work. It didn't work.
Yeah. So the overnight success probably has like 6 years of either failure behind them or like just intention to make it or to, a 6-year journey to try.
I like that a lot. I've seen it on social media. It's a picture of like an iceberg, and of course, right away people picture the Titanic. Maybe not, but that's what I picture. But in this case, it was a motivational like poster. It used to be real popular. It said like success in big letters and under it. And to tie it in, it was like you only see the tip of the iceberg. You don't see what's below the water, all the hard work, all the sweat, the blood, the loss, the failures, and the learning from that. So I feel like, as an entrepreneur, as creatives, it's just part of the journey and enjoying it. That's a great way to put it, because sometimes, you get down and you're like, oh, it's like, what are we doing this for? But then at the same time, it's like, enjoy the moment, live it up, and enjoy the ride.
100%. Should we tell them what we our number?
So
this is another example of failure.
Okay. So speaking of failure, I mean, we failed pretty hard with the first development company that we went with.
Let's tie back in. Let's get back to that. Yeah.
So
they didn't do nothing for a year and a half, right? They didn't get.
They did stuff, but what it was is like every 2 weeks we were like arguing with them of like, was this the right thing that they did? There was a bunch of bugs.
What were we promised? I think like the breach of contract happened after 4 months. Like we were supposed to have an app in 4 months, and we were like a year and a half into it.
Yeah.
And so at that point, like we had some stuff, but we didn't have a working app in any sense of the word.
Yeah.
To give an example, like one of the line items on the invoice was like $2,500 to do design. And after 3 months of them trying to design the app and us providing feedback, ultimately what ended up happening is I did the design then.
No.
And I just took over because like
it
did not work, and they ended up refunding that portion of it.
That's nice, as they should.
But at the end of the day, we lost, I think, $40,000.
Whoa.
Yeah.
We cut our losses, did not walk away with an app from them, asked for our money back, and they essentially ghosted us, like stopped communicating in any sense of the word.
Are they still, and we don't have to shout them out. They're still doing their thing?
Unfortunately,
they're still in business.
Wow.
But if you were to find this company and read the reviews, and this is something that neither of us did, we were just like, they called us back. Great, let's go.
Yeah.
If we would have read the reviews, we would have never.
I always go to Google reviews, whether it's restaurants or whatever. Yeah.
But it was bad. But the funny part of it was like all the reviews were like same story as us. Like we paid them a bunch of money, didn't get anything in return. They suck. Kind of thing,
that's
right?
Wild.
So at the end of the day, like the only thing that they said that they could have been liable for was like $1,200 worth of charges, right?
Yeah.
And what we did is we got a home equity line of credit.
Okay.
And that's how we paid.
That's how you did it,
right?
Yeah.
But we're just paying off that line of credit just with my normal day job, because I don't think we're gonna ever get that money back, right?
No.
That's crazy.
But it was really funny because we were very seriously considering taking them to litigation, to court, to like try to get our money, right?
That's not a small amount of money,
right?
Really.
And we had proof. We still do have proof that they breached contract. But we went and talked to somebody who I consider one of my mentors. His name's Bob, and he was like, "Look, don't do that." And I was like, "Why?" And I was like, "This is $40,000." He's like, "That's nothing."
Oh, wow.
And I was like, "Why?" And he was like, "You paid $40,000 to learn what not to do."
Mm-hmm. There you go. Yeah, like, as long as you learn from it.
He was like, "Look, you go to court, and really the judge, however they're feeling that day, you basically have a 50-50 shot. Like, yes, there's lawyers involved and there's juries and whatever, but he's like, you basically have a 50-50 shot. It's either going to be
coin flip.
Yeah, it's either going to be yes or no.
You're going to have to sink more money into it.
Right. He was like, how much money are you going to spend doing this? $100,000? $200,000 maybe? Going against a big company who, like, they have more money
They have
than
the
you.
backing. Yeah.
Yeah, like this company has millions of dollars. Like they fundraises. Their last fundraiser was $60 million. It's like
Wow.
we're two people who are just normal people, right? Like
Yeah.
we're not a big conglomerate who can pay for really great lawyers, right?
What did he say too? He was like, in the grand scheme of things, in 5 years, is $40,000 going to matter to you based
Right.
on
That's what you're saying.
the
Yeah.
path
Yeah.
that you're walking? So that was another, and he was very sweet too. He also kind of reminded us too. He was like, you guys are doing a lot right now. Make sure that you focus on the good things that you have going on. And he was like, you're raising a beautiful family. Like, just make sure that
Yeah.
you're
Oh, yeah.
choosing to sink your effort into focusing on the things that are positive. And that was a good reminder for us, because that stung. That was rough, but we just want to say that because I think it's so easy sometimes to look at people and just think like, oh, they have it all together. They made it. They're doing it. And I just think you can lose a little bit of money, you can lose a lot of money, but like anybody can kind of have a failure like that, and you just,
The point is to keep going.
Yeah.
Literally.
Yeah, not give up, right? You mentioned Bob. Were there any other people or mentors that then like obviously helped create the app? So this first company,
Oh yeah.
you know, let's forget about them. How was it moving forward?
Yeah, so there was a lot of really great people that I'll shout a few of them. Harlan Paccio, Jesse Hyde, Koga. His name's Koga. That's all. From DigiV.
Yeah.
There's a few people where like either they're in marketing, they're in design. Taylor Dollarhide's another one. Just people that I know in my network who have either been like, hey, change this, or hey, that looks good, but why don't you see about wording it this way? And there's been so many people, not just the people that I named. It's hard for me to remember everybody, but
Grant's company is the company that he works for now is out of Silicon Valley, and it's a startup, and he's worked for startups for the last 3 or 4 years, and there's a really cool culture in the startup community where like nobody cares that you have your own thing going on, and everybody's like wants to help with that.
That's awesome.
And it's super, super cool. It's a really cool culture and community because we did not come from that originally. And it's it's really cool. We love that.
You know, they ultimately, you know, I was like, look, I'm going to design the app. I'm going to provide the logic for the app. I still need to find a development team. But ultimately what ended up happening is one person from one of my customers at my normal day job, he was like, hey, I know these developers. Like, are you interested? And I was like, I don't know, man. Like, I don't want to have like the same. He's like,
you just went through that.
Yeah. I was just like, I just went through this, blah,
Yeah.
blah, blah. I don't really want to go through this. I was like, can you like guarantee me that these people are actually legit and good?
Right.
And
They're
he's
going to do what they're going to do what they say.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
And he was like, no, trust me. He's like, so here's what we'll do. He was like, and this is the bad part, but he's like, we'll have them review the code. Because essentially what happened is our past company, they had a code base, and I took it without really them knowing. And it's mine anyway.
It was ours.
It's mine
paid,
anyway.
right, yeah.
I paid for it. But I was like, look, I'm going to have this new development company review this code. And they can, and just for the record, like everything, the code that we had, there was a bunch of bugs, and like nothing really worked, all this stuff, right? I had a feeling I knew what they were going to say, but they came back and they reviewed this code and they were like, look, this code is junk. Like, we can't use this.
We were hoping they could use some of it.
Something. Oh, they could use
Nothing.
anything. Oh, jeez.
And they were like,
It was crazy.
listen,
Yeah.
this is built on development stuff that's like 7-10 years old and just
Wow.
really bad. And like, I even asked some of the people that I know who I trust, or who are engineers as well as coders, and they said the same thing. So this is like a consensus thing. And they were like, this is, you could use it if you want to, but you
probably shouldn't. Yeah,
you shouldn't.
Yeah.
So I got on a meeting with the guy. His name's Dragon, actually. It's really cool.
What? His
really
name's
cool
Dragon?
His
That's
name's
awesome.
Dragon.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
he's from Serbia, but
Whoa.
and I was like, I don't know if I want to work with like a Serbian company, right? But
Right.
I got on a meeting with this guy, and he was like, look, he laid it all out, told me what they could do, told me when they can do it, told me the price. He was like, look, we already like we read your documents, we know exactly what to do. This is cake for us. And I was like, I told him, I was like, look, I have $10,000. That's it. That's all we have left. And he was like, done. A month later, we released the app.
Really?
They were
That
amazing.
quick?
They were
Holy
amazing.
cow! Shout out to Dragon and his
Yeah,
team. That's
dude.
They were amazing.
phenomenal.
What is it? Servalet?
Servalet.
If you want to develop an app, use
Yeah.
Servalet.
Shout them out all
Okay,
day long.
I'm gonna
Yeah,
have to
we
look
love
them up.
them.
I'll put them in the show notes if I can find their website.
Get
Yeah.
yourself a good
Yeah.
design, and then once you hand over the design to them, they will
Well,
be phenomenal.
I will say that too. Like, they are developers.
Yeah.
I still designed the app and provided the logic of the app.
Okay, right.
But they executed flawlessly.
Yeah,
Like
and
amazing
quickly
and
too.
quick too.
Wow.
Well, and here's the thing too. Here's the other reason why we're like $40,000 down the drain is worth it to learn, because we were going to release as our birth. And I still don't know. Like I said, we were kind of overcomplicating it a little bit. There's a huge dream in the future for where a lot of those features will be there. But I don't know that was a product that I think would have been our best product released.
Yeah.
And we rebranded in that time. We changed it to DudeDoula. We felt like that really spoke to the audience that we were going for. It was an amazing decision. It simplified it. It just felt better. It looked better. We felt more confident about it. And we wouldn't have done that had we not had to take that time to pivot.
Yeah.
And so again, it ended up being a blessing, even though it was kind
In
of
a way, yeah.
Yeah, I think it ended up being a blessing as well.
Yeah.
So now it's a month later, we just released it like
September 29th.
September 29th.
Oh
So
wow!
Whenever you're listening
just-
to this,
just
like,
came out.
It's fresh.
Yeah, yeah,
We've been working
so
on it for 2 years.
We're recording this. What is it? October 22nd.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. So
Yeah.
and it'll come out November.
Yeah.
Yeah, DudeDoula definitely has a nice like ring to it.
Mm-hmm.
DudeDoula. Our birth, not that it doesn't, but DudeDoula is like, oh, what is that? It sparks
Mm-hmm.
your interest.
Yeah.
Some stats for the listeners in 2021 here in the States, there was 3,659,000 births.
Yes.
Then babies that were born worldwide yearly is projected to remain around 140 million over the coming decades, and that was backed by the CDC and ourworlddata.org. So I feel like your app has so much potential.
Yeah.
You
Oh, yeah.
know, so much potential, but yet at the same time, aren't there a decent amount of birthing apps out there? So how is DudeDoula
Oh yeah.
going to stand out? You
It's a
know,
great
love this
question.
question.
I
Yeah.
love this.
Yeah.
There are a lot of birthing apps out there.
There are a lot of pregnancy apps.
A lot of pregnancy apps, right?
Okay, yeah.
However, I think all of them, I could be wrong at this point in time because I haven't looked in a little bit, but when we last looked and we decided to make this app, all of them focused on the moments leading up to labor and birth, not labor and birth.
in the
So,
moment.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So all of them are like, let's prepare, let's take classes, let's learn.
Mm-hmm. Right. Oh yeah, they're heavy on that stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
Take your classes. Yep.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
And like, let's do contractions. Let's do baby week by week, all that stuff. And we were like, look, the one thing that happened and the one consensus that we heard from everybody that we talked to is when you get in labor, you forget all that preparation. It's gone
It's out the
'Cause
window
you get
for sure.
emotional.
because you get emotional.
Oh, yeah,
Especially
yeah.
first time parents. Even second time parents, third time parents, they're like, look, I'm in the moment. I'm not going to remember something I read 3 months ago.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm not going to open my app to read baby week by week like 2 weeks ago. It's just that's not what you need in the moment. So we're like, okay, what do you need in the moment? You
So
need
what
labor
it boils down to is it is the first of its kind where you can use the app in real time in labor for as long as you possibly need it. Like it'll run for 48 hours if you need it to run
Wow.
for 48 hours. It takes everything that the other apps would have taught you leading up to pregnancy, and then it kind of boils it down by just giving you a task to perform during labor.
Yeah.
And the research behind that just again says that if you have an emotional support person while you're laboring, your outcomes are better.
Okay.
You're healthier, your baby's healthier, and
Hormones function better.
hormones function better. There's a new body of research that's emerging as well, where people are starting to focus on your actual experience during labor, like your overall satisfaction. Because I don't know anybody who wakes up like in the morning and says, I don't care about my experience. But
Yeah.
a lot of moms will just be like, as long as my baby's healthy, and they kind of just like give it up. We're kind of taking the stance of like, don't do that. Your experience can be amazing and you deserve for your experience to be amazing.
Yeah.
And there's this interesting, not to like go off on a tiny tangent here, but there's a very interesting, I think, pocket that needs to be filled when moms are laboring, which is that, and we touched on it a little bit before, medical professionals and hospitals are amazing. They will save your life, and that is what they're there for, and that's awesome. But they have to perform that job. They have to monitor your vitals. They're not there to hold your hand.
No, they can come off a little cold. You know,
Yeah.
as having one under our
Yes.
belt. It's they're very professional, but it's like they're not gonna they won't comfort you, but they're there to do a job. And like you
Yes.
said, save your life if needed.
Yes.
Heaven forbid. But it's like they're very to the point. you
And
know?
I think
Yeah.
for us, we went into it thinking that we were in the hospital and we were in the safest place possible. And from a physical standpoint, that was true.
Yeah.
But from an emotional standpoint, again, where your mind plays such a big piece in it, where if you get scared, your medical professional is most likely not going to be the one that's going to talk you down off the ledge. And if you
Right.
are scared, that medical data probably isn't going to mean anything to you either, because that's logic. When you kind of are having a logic butt up against emotion,
Yeah.
this doesn't work sometimes. We've
Right.
learned that in our own like personal fights and stuff like that, where one of us is like,
It's water and oil. It doesn't
Yeah,
mix.
yeah.
For sure.
so the point now is like you want to have that emotional piece of it, which is where doulas come in. But a doula fee, I think, is like anywhere from like $800 to $2,500. Some people can't
Whoa.
afford that. And so this is a $5 app where you can have the person, hopefully, who cares about you the most, the father to be,
Right.
and cares about their kid.
The dude.
You could tap into that potential and have the dude be your doula if you want him to be.
Yeah.
Or, I mean, and we made it for everybody too. So
Yeah.
if you don't have that, like grandma, sister, whoever,
Yeah.
whoever's there for you, knows you, and like can
Yeah.
help you out, then
Can be the dude, man.
Exactly. Yeah, man. Yeah. Hang 10. I love it.
Yeah.
And that's great pricing. I like that. So $4.99
Yeah.
is the cost of the app. Now let me ask you this, because this drives me nuts. There's so many apps that like I would use. There's one in particular called Captions that you can use for video, but it's a subscription based thing, and I hate that because I'd rather pay, like, honestly, I'd probably pay $100 or $150 for this one app because it's so good, but I don't want to subscribe and have to pay $20, $30 each year for the next 10, 20, 30 years or whatever I use it.
Yeah.
So is it just $4.99 or is there like upgraded versions or
Nope.
$4.99.
$4.99.
wow, that's
No
very
ads.
Use
reasonable.
it as long as you want.
No ads.
No, I don't know.
That was really important to us because you're in
Yeah.
labor. You don't want. We're not going to show you ads while you're in labor.
Yeah.
I feel
Well,
like
and,
that's
and
cool.
time matters.
True. Yeah.
And like being able to get the information matters. So the whole app is built around getting the information as soon as possible. And
Yeah.
there's no distractions. There's no anything. It's just like, look, it's $5. It's the price of a latte.
Right. Yeah.
Right? Skip Starbucks that day.
Exactly.
And you have yourself an app that will ultimately help you birth your child
Yeah.
better. You know what I mean? So
And also for any of the women that are out there listening, like when I say that he was my hero, like I looked at him after labor and I was in love with this man all over again. That feeling and that labor with him is one of my most prized memories. And it's so crazy because I feel like what we're taught is like labor is awful. It's terrible. You just have to get through it. And I loved it.
Just
because
grin and
he
bear it
was-
kind of thing. Yeah.
yeah, he was there for me. He was my ride or die, and that just kind of reinforced that. And going into parenthood the second time, like having that experience was awesome.
yeah.
One of the things you had put on the
Hmm.
form was, and I like this, so I'm going to read it off. Currently, we're on a mission to flip the birthing industry on its head and give more power back to the women and their partners giving birth. DudeDoula is designed to be your best friend during your pregnancy journey.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like that. I like it a lot. And I feel like that perfectly sums up, the app and what you're saying.
Yeah.
Take a sip here. I can edit this out. Let's take a sip. This sip break is brought to you by Cleona Coffee Roasters, a small batch coffee roastery and coffee shop, veteran owned and community oriented. All coffee is roasted fresh to order. Now open every day from 5:30 a.m. to 1 p.m. Located inside 911 Rapid Response in Annville, PA. With the app DudeDoula, how does it use the reminders, notifications, and words of encouragement to help while the mother and their partners are in labor? Like, so what, you're in labor, the wife's in labor, as the husband, soon to be father, especially if it's your first time, must you have an Apple Watch? Must you have like what?
You don't need
tell
to.
me about it. Yeah.
Yeah, so you open up the app and it's right on the very home screen. It's just like start labor, big button, right? There's some articles there that you can read, like, hey, can men be doulas? Like, that's a question.
Yeah.
Like, can you be a doula?
Valid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or like, what to pack in your hospital bag? Like stuff that you
Very important
need
to
to
know.
know. But
Yeah.
100%.
what we have is we have contraction timer. We have a checklist that says, I'm in labor. Okay, get this stuff together. Do these things like let
Yeah.
the dogs out, take the kids to grandma's house. light the candles, do whatever you need to do.
Whatever she told you, it's the ultimate honey-do list.
Yeah. But it's pre-populated. So even if you don't, like, say you download the app like right now and you go into labor 30 seconds later, it's all there for you. You don't need to think about it, right?
Yeah.
We have the labor mode. We have affirmations. So being able to say nice things to the woman, like to help her keep going, like, hey, you're doing great, all that good stuff.
So even if your headspace is not, if you're like freaking out, you can go in and you can at least pull something that's not from your brain that's freaking out.
Yeah. And like I think we mentioned earlier, it makes it almost dummy proof for the doula.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah.
You know those books
for the partner. Yeah.
the yellow and black books
Oh
that
my
are like
gosh,
so and so for dummies.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
that's like it. This is it.
And
This
then
is
finally, coping mechanisms, which is basically like there's a category like, oh, contractions. She's having a tough time getting through contractions. It'll give you literally instructions to follow that say, do this exact thing, try this, and you try it. And if it works, then great. If it doesn't, then try another one, right?
Yeah.
So,
Or there's one that says I'm freaking out, like as the dad, like
Yeah.
I'm freaking out, or like I need a break, and it'll go through and it'll tell you almost like exactly what to say to her if you need a break.
Yeah.
Hey, I love you. You're doing amazing. I so wish I could do this for you. I know I can't.
Yeah.
I need to go get 20 minutes of shut eye so that when the baby is here, I can continue to take care of you. It just tells you all the things to say if you're at a loss for words or action.
So the question of like use a watch or don't. I think it's enhanced when you use a watch, but you don't need to. So what'll happen is you hit start labor. It's going to give you, here's the time remaining until your next task. Here's what your next task is going to be. When your task comes up, it's going to tell you exactly what your task is and how to do it.
Yeah.
Right? So you know what's coming on. You can look at your phone. You can see everything that's happening. And then you can put your phone in your pocket. You'll get a notification that says, hey, it's time to do this. Open up the app to see how to do more. The way that the watch enhances it is you can leave your phone in your pocket and just look at the watch.
And you're set.
And
just
you're good to
glance
go,
down, you're good.
Right.
Okay. So now the app in the App Store, what does it look like? Is it what are the colors, you know? Describe that for the listeners.
Yeah, well, I have to look. It's funny.
Grant's pretty proud of it.
I feel like it was like a salmon or pinkish color. I could be wrong.
It's like pink, orange,
And,
blue.
like, yellow?
There's like a navy blue. There's some yellows in there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What we tried to do is we took a picture of a sunset and we went into like Adobe Color and said, what are the colors in here? And we just kind of applied them to here. So,
Okay.
So the
Imagine make it,
icon.
like carefree kind of.
Yeah.
Is that the right like vibe?
Well, it's
what you're
like
saying?
the icon is like it's a picture of sunglasses and it's like very beachy feeling. It's because there's a bunch of different colors. There's like pink, green, I think blue, and they're all like purple, orange, all that good stuff.
So in the app itself for listen, it's literally like a sunset, like a yellowish, orange, pinkish, and then pink sunglasses. DudeDoula.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
The hope is that it conveys the feeling of like confidence and like, oh, I'm just hanging out and like I'm doing this. This is beachy. This is breezy. This is
Right,
easy.
because you want to keep the stress levels down.
Yeah.
Because if you as the DudeDoula is calm and relaxed, you can help, the woman going through, the labor. What would you say you're most passionate about?
In life or with DudeDoula?
Whichever, either or.
Ooh,
That's
Yeah.
a tough
good
one.
That's
Yeah.
a doozy.
For me, it's just about going through the journey of life and doing something positive, whatever that may mean. I tell her all the time, like, look, I was born to take care of you. If that's all I ever do for my whole life, then that's it. I'm good with that. Whatever. But, hopefully I want to change the world in some aspect, right?
Yeah, right. Leave an impact. Yeah.
I'm naive enough to think that I can, and I'm smart enough to think that I probably could, right? But it just all depends, I think it depends on the day, what's most important to me. But ultimately, it's like the journey and making it the world a better place, making her happy, making my kids happy, all that good stuff.
Perfect. Yeah.
I love
Cool,
you for
yeah.
saying that. Thank you.
That's the
You're
truth.
the best.
Nothing but the truth. I love it.
Mine's very similar. It's the same. If I died and we just had a wonderful, beautiful life together with our family, I would be very happy. And I think to go on that a little bit more, if we can make something and have the opportunity to work together on it, that's super fun because we work very well together.
Yeah.
Just being able to spend more time with each other. And if we can just have fun making something that worked for us, that we really enjoyed talking about, and then we get to share it with other people and find other people that also like that, that makes me so happy. Like, I love the idea of community. Like, Grant and I grew up cul-de-sac kids. You know what I mean by that?
Right.
You just
Yeah,
go
yeah.
out,
Oh, your friends,
hang out with the people
neighbors.
that you're with, and then you have more friendly faces in your life. Like, I love to go through our life that way. And if our businesses or our ventures enable us to do that, like, that's the best case scenario.
Yeah. Perfect. So now, how can our listeners connect with you and follow along in your journey? Where's the app available? Tell the listeners about that.
So you can go to ourbirth.app, and that's our blog that helps you prepare for birth, gives you information. And then you go to DudeDoula.app online, and that will get you the app itself. But if you go on Apple App Store or Android App Store, you'll be able to find it just by searching for DudeDoula.
And I'll put those all in the show notes, all those links. I like to do that, try to give back to the guests. That way, if you're interested in downloading DudeDoula, you can. They'll be in the show notes. So before we close out, is there anything else you'd like to share with the listeners?
Well, maybe just a thanks to you for
Yeah.
actually having us.
Oh, yeah.
That,
I appreciate that.
it's really cool to be able to. This is the first one we've ever done, so for us, we were like, look, this is gonna be practice, but like,
Yeah.
you made it really easy for us to be here, and we really appreciate
thank
that.
you.
I appreciate the kind words. Yeah.
Lovely.
But also too, I think like if anybody is listening to this and is like, look, I'm in the same like or a similar scenario where like I just don't know where I'm going next or whatever, or like I'm hearing these people talk and it sounds similar to me, like just keep going, man.
Yeah.
It's all good. Like,
Operate from the assumption of why not.
yeah,
Like, if you have an idea, like, just go for it and try it.
Yeah.
And I'm going to tell the story of my tattoo. I got a tattoo that says it's WD-40.
Okay.
And the tattoo artist thought I was absolutely insane. He was like, why would you ever want that?
Yeah.
But WD-40 stands for water displacement number 40, and it took them 40 tries until they got to the solution, the product that they sell
Really?
today.
I did not know that.
So that's 39 failures. So like if you're in the middle of failing, we still fail. I don't know
time.
how else to say
Yeah.
that. Like failure is just part of success. It's part of the journey. And so like just why not? Just do it. You'll get through it. You'll live, hopefully.
well, and also the failures lead up to the successes. There's a lot of things that we said we failed at, but nowadays we're like, oh, if I hadn't done that,
You wouldn't be where you
I
are
wouldn't
now.
be where I was.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Exactly. Oh, I love it. Grant and Nicole Holden, creators of the mobile app DudeDoula, on the American Grown Podcast in the Colortech Creative Solutions studios. Thank you both for joining me.
Thanks
Thank
for
you.
having us.
To see photos of today's guests and more content, just search American Grown Podcast on Facebook and Instagram. If you enjoyed this episode, please subscribe and leave a review.
If you'd like to be a featured guest on the podcast, please direct message or email Austin at americangrownpod@gmail.com.